Hi guys, this is Sherry with SherriBlossom Stamps. Welcome to my very first video ever. I'm really excited to make this card for you today and show you how I did it along the way. So here's some of the stuff that we're going to be using. We're going to be using 3 ink pads. We are going to be using Watermelon Wonder and Tip Top Taupe from the 2015-2017 Stampin' Up! In Colors. We are also going to be using the basic black archival stamp pad, our clear block, the letter D. Let's see, where is that? Letter D, if you can see that. We're using our snail adhesive, our bone folder, our basic black, what is this called? What is this called? Our stitched satin ribbon in basic black, some Stampin' Dimensionals, some Jewels Basic Rhinestones, 2 stamp sets, one big meaning. We're actually going to be using the Thank You for Everything and More, as well as the Flower Shop stamp set. We're going to be using this one down here, and the Pansy Punch that goes along with that. And I will be giving you kind of a whole product list at the end of this, so you'll be able to find that on my blog as well. We're also going to be using our Stampin' Scrub and Stampin' Mist to be able to clean our stamps up in between use. Alright, so let's go ahead and set some of this aside and get started. So you're also going to want a piece of grid paper or something for background, because we're going to be stamping off of the cardstock for our image for the background paper. So what I've done is I've already pre-cut some paper. So I've taken a piece of Tip Top Taupe 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I've cut it in half. So then you've got 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to fold that in half. You could also score this at 4 1/4. Take your bone folder and just give it a nice good crease down the center, and that gives you the base for your card. So now this is a standard size A2 card. Set that aside. I've also cut a piece of Watermelon Wonder, and this is cut at Watermelon Wonder. This is cut at 4.5 by 5 1/4. A piece of Whisper White regular cardstock. This is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And we've also got a little accent piece here. This is again Tip Top Taupe, and this is cut at 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And I'll have all of these dimensions listed. You're also going to want a piece of Whisper White scrap paper, at least like 2 inches by 2 inches. So just any scrap paper that's at least 2 inches wide for Whisper White will work. So let's go ahead and set that aside. Okay, so we have folded our base in half, and we've got that. We're going to set these other pieces aside and take our block and our flower stamp. I'm going to use that one. Again, that's the stamp in the Flower Shop kit. Place it on our block. And we're going to take the Tip Top Taupe, open it up. And what I have done is, just going to ink it up really good. These stamp pads are great. They're so juicy. I've used a lot of stamp pads in my day, and this is the best stamp pad that I have ever used. Is from Stampin' Up! They're really high quality. And I'm probably over inking, but that's okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is kind of move things out of the way a little bit, because I tend to be messy. So we're just going to kind of randomly stamp. And you just want, I ink up after every time I stamp down, and you want good, clear, bold, beautiful images. With Stampin' Up! Stuff, that's not a difficult task, but just stamp straight down, lift straight back up. Down, straight back up. And I just kind of fill in the edges, stamp off a little bit, make sure everything is filled in nicely, and I guess one more right there. That looks good. Let's go ahead and close up our ink pad. I'm really good at getting messy, and we're going to go ahead and use our if I can grab it here, our Stampin' Scrub. Clean up our stamp really quick. Now, if you've never used a Stampin' Scrub, there are two sides. One's a wet side, one's a dry side. So if you look here in the corner, there's 3 little drops. That would be your wet side. And then over in this side, there's like a sun. So that would be your dry side. Just stamp it in, spray your Stampin' Mist in there. Take your stamp right on your block, scrub it in there, dry it off. Scrub it in, dry it off. Looks good. Let's go ahead and move that. Now, while we have this stamp on our block, we're going to go ahead and take the Watermelon Wonder and that piece of scrap paper. And this might take a little bit of getting used to. I've actually had, if you can see there, I have a marker mark on the stamp because you want the punch to line up with the stamp. And there's some really great YouTube videos for techniques on how to make sure you get it lined up. So just search in YouTube, the Flower Shop stamp. I will try to get a tutorial out to how I did mine. So that you line it up properly. So I've made this little mark here, and that means that I want that towards me. You see that there's one on that side of the stamp as well. Hopefully you can see that without too much glare. So that means that I want that end of the stamp towards me, and you're going to, that's the end that your punch is going to go up through the paper. So you want to make sure that you're stamping close to the edge. So just ink up our stamp and the Watermelon Wonder. Again, look how nice and beautifully juicy those are. And just stamp and lift up. Close up our ink pad. I want it to dry out or make a mess. Set that aside. Then go back to our Stampin' Scrub. Clean that up really quick. And there we go. Okay. Alright, now we're going to take our pansy punch and take our image, flip it over, and just line it up as best you can. Punch it out. And these are great. Again, I've used a ton of punches over my years of paper crafting. The best punches I've ever used. They are solid but not overly heavy. They punch really, really well, and they store flat, and that's fantastic. Okay, so now we've got our little flower there. We're going to set that aside, put our stamp back, and now we're going to take, we're done with that scrap, now we're going to take our thank you for everything and more. That ready, and with this one we're going to use the basic black. Oops, the basic black. Make sure that's on there kind of straight. Okay, so now you're going to take your small piece of Tip Top Taupe, ink your stamp up really nice in your basic black, and see if I can do this from here. And of course, if you screw up, it's always double-sided. No big deal. Flip it over. And we're going to stamp like in the middle towards the bottom. Give it a firm press. Don't rock your stamp or you'll end up with like a double image. Oh my goodness, and that's kind of crooked. Okay. So we're going to flip it back over and dry again. Ink it back up. If I can get a really good, okay, we're going to go there. Perfect. Okay. Again, back to our Stampin' Scrub. I don't like to leave my stamps with ink on them even long enough for me to do a project. I'd go right in and clean them off. I think it's probably healthier for the stamp itself. You don't really want it. Some inks might stain it a little bit, but the sooner that you get to it, the better. Put that back in there. Close up our basic black. Okay, so now let's start putting these together a little bit. We're going to take our ribbon And you want it to overlap a little bit, give yourself enough room. Snip it off. And take a couple pieces of just regular Scotch tape. Ooh, that one's kind of gross. Regular Scotch tape. Line up your ribbon. So I can pick it up. And I'm just going to kind of go across the top here. Bend it over. And tape it to the back. Don't make your tape pieces too long or else they're going to overlap the bottom, like mine did. Oh well, mistakes are happy mistakes, right? Okay, so let's start assembling our card. Take our snail and don't need a whole lot of adhesive. Take our snail, line this up, should give us a really perfect border all the way around. There we go. So that's the first layer. Okay, then we're going to put some snail on here. Since the ribbon is there, I kind of probably overdo it a little bit, but I don't want it to pop up. So instead of putting this flush at the bottom, I want the stamped images that I've done along the bottom to kind of peek out a little bit. So I line it up just a little bit there. And then when I look at it, I'm going to go, okay, which flower is it that I'm going to add some dimension to? And I think I'm going to do that one right there because it kind of overlaps the tip-top taupe. So we'll go ahead and stick this to our card base. And give us a nice, pretty, even edge all the way around. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to take our little flower that we punched out earlier, and we're going to add, there it is. We're going to add a rhinestone. Just give it a little bit of bling. And you'll see with the rhinestones, lots of different colors, or sorry, sizes. All right, we're going to maybe take 2 on that one. Okay, so take 2. So now we have our card base finished. And we're going to take that little flower that we punched out earlier, take our rhinestones, and I just took one of these like medium size. Oh, actually that would be the smallest. So these are the smallest, medium, large, and then these are cute little strips. So I'm just going to take the smallest little rhinestone, stick it in the middle. So we have a cute little flower with a little bit of bling. Can you see? Cute, not too much. Even the medium-sized rhinestone will probably be fine. So now we're going to take a Stampin' Dimensional, stick it to the back, peel it off, and I'm going to line it up with the image and just place it right over the top. Oops, maybe. There we go. That looks pretty good. So that your flower just pops off the page a little bit. Gives it a little bit of dimension, a little bit of bling, and I think these cards are really, really cute. So you're going to find my product list on the blog. Thank you so much for stopping by and doing this video with me. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout out. Thanks so much.